When I used to study under my shuyukh, I used to start my studies at 3 o'clock after Salatul Tahajjud. My classical Shariah studies, I am talking of the classical Shariah studies. We used to start at 3 o'clock. We used to pray Salatul Tahajjud at 2:30. And we used to start at 3 o'clock till Fajr. And that was an open place in a village, on a kacha stage. And there was just a bulb hanging on that with a wire, no regular arrangement of electricity, just one bulb and some lamps around us. Then we used to get up at Fajr prayer. And after Fajr, when you are in study, your all waza'if and awrad are amalgamated in study of Quran and Sunnah. The best wazifa for a student of Sharia is his study. I used to perform my awrad and waza'if when I used to come back to my home. The whole day, the studying was my wazifa. So from Fajr, after Fajr prayer, to Ishraq, the next lesson, continuous. Then we used to get up for Ishraq prayer. I used to pray Ishraq, and my teacher, my Shaykh, used to attend other matters. Then we again used to sit down together, and up to Chasht, Salatul Duha, third lesson. And about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, I used to have breakfast. And breakfast was always used to come from the house of my teacher, my Shaykh. Paratha and makhan, butter and lassi and shakkar. The village, the breakfast of village. So after breakfast, again we used to sit for fourth lesson and fifth lesson till noon time. I used to have 12 lessons a day up till noon time, or sometimes 3 lessons up to Zuhr times, another 3. So totally it became 6 or 7 lessons. Then there was a break for lunch. And after that, I used to have 2 hours for repetition, revising whatever I had read from Tahajjud till Zuhr. 2 hours of revision. Then after Asr, after revision, Salatul Asr, we used to sit, have another lesson from Asr to Maghrib. Then after Maghrib, we used to pray Awwabin, 20 cycles of Awwabin after Maghrib. And then from Awwabin to Isha, another lesson, maybe it was 10th lesson. Then we used to pray Isha, and another lesson after Isha, and then one more lesson after that, and we used to finish it at 11 o'clock. Starting at 3 o'clock and finishing at 11 o'clock. So every night, I also used to have malish of oil in my head, and my teacher also used to have malish. And then we would just sleep for 2-3 hours. Again getting up for Tahajjud at 2 o'clock. Less than 3 hours. This was our young age. We could afford that. The whole young life. And when I was back to my family, to my house, then most of the years which I spent in studies, I used to sit after Maghrib and Awwabin till Fajr, without sleeping for a single minute throughout, continuously in the studies. Except just 2 breaks, one for Isha and one for Tahajjud at 3 o'clock. Again on my chair. And then having used to have rest after Fajr and then Ishraq, and then sometime, if it is college, if these are the college days, then going to college and university. If these are holidays, then continuing after rest again my studies. So we spent about 20 hours, sometimes 21 hours a day in sitting and studying. You can't get anything without mujahada. Allazina jahadu fina lanahdiyannahum subulana. And when I was doing my FSC, my A levels, FSC A levels, I was studying in Faisalabad, Government College Faisalabad, and we lived in Jang. Coming and going back, it was 98, 96 miles. You may say 100 miles, converted into kilometers. 160? 160 kilometers I used to travel every day and continuously for 2 years. On bus, no cars, New Khan transport, broken roads. Sitting on bus, old buses. I used to pray tahajjud in my house, used to pray fajr in Adda, the bus station, used to sit on the bus. It used to take 1 hour or 1 hour 10 minutes to Faisalabad, and then I used to go to my college hostel. I had maintained my hostel seat just to have sometime shower or to change, coming back to my college, going to the class, studied up till noon, and after Zuhur, early hour Zuhur, then going back to Jang on the same bus. Why? Because I continued for those 2 years the Sharia classical studies under my father. And I couldn't find an appropriate teacher for me whom I could study Sharia and classical sciences under him. I started under somebody, the great famous scholars of that time, but I was not satisfied with them. So I complained to my father. He said, "You won't be satisfied anywhere except me. Just if you can travel, I am ready." So I traveled for 100 miles, 160 kilometers a day, every day, and I continued my classical Sharia studies along with my FSC, the A levels in medical science, together. Then same was during my graduation in village, the same during my masters, and the same during my law. So we have been continuously studying about 20 hours a day, sometimes 18 hours a day, sometimes 21 hours a day. So you have to put a lot of effort and mujahada, riyada. Alhamdulillah, now our sons and daughters are becoming used to becoming captives, and they are being arrested slowly and slowly, and let another 1-2 years pass, inshallah, they will say, we can sit continuously for 12 hours. And I swear by God, many, many times and many years, when I was married, my wife used to send food, lunch for me in my room, and I was busy in studies. And I didn't look at the lunch. And this was evening time. Just I got up for prayer, sitting again, praying, sitting again. And afternoon or evening time, when they came to my room to get the empty pots, they saw the whole lunch was there. I never ate. Many times. And they had to remind me many, many times for lunch or dinner. Sometimes I used to have it, sometimes I leave it. Because if you become a captive and you become a prisoner, then you are fed. Then you are fed. You never remain hungry. And when I was a student, I was doing my masters in Punjab University. I again swear by God, during my studentship, when I was doing master, I intentionally, I left taking the lunch and dinner for three days. I used to depend on breakfast. 1 bread and 1 cup of lassi, or 1 cup of tea, whatever it was, whatever was available. 1 bread, small, and 1 cup of tea. No lunch, no dinner for 3 days. After 3 days, when I started feeling weakness in my body, only then I used to, you can say, break this fast. And I would go for dinner. I would have a dinner, then again for next 3 days, no lunch, no dinner, just depending on the breakfast. Just busy in my studying or worshipping or studying or awrad or wadaif, particularly the studies. This is your age. You can receive, you can achieve and receive as much as possible. The more efforts you put in, the more blessings you get. Alhamdulillah. So this was the sunnah of the companions, that they were the listeners of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam right from Fajr till Maghrib, till sunset. And what happened? The last words of hadith are, فَأَخْبَرَنَا بِمَا كَانَ وَبِمَا هُوَ كَائِنٌ وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ فَأَعْلَمُنَا أَحْفَظُنَا. So right from the Fajr prayer till sunset with breaks of Zuhr and Asr, Holy Prophet ﷺ, in a long continuous speech, they say, he told us each and everything, and he described and narrated each and every event that took place from the beginning of creation till that day, and from that day till the occurrence of the last day of judgment. The whole history of creation from beginning to end was described just within one day. This was the mu'jiza, miracle of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Miracle of Holy Prophet.